What is going on, all of you gaming legends out there? My name is Tyler Deathly, and this is going to be our team builder versus Chase. So, I'm going to try to keep things a little bit more concise than the 20 minutes for my first team builder last time, but that seems to be about the average time. So, let me make myself a little bit smaller here. Dominate the screen! Anyway, yeah, so, I'm going to go through Chase's team, then we'll go through mine, just kind of standard things there. If you guys are watching this after I've had the battle, I will put the link to the battle that is going up tomorrow in the description for you guys to check out once it is live and up and ready. So, it is a rematch. I versed Chase in my first ever league in the APA. It was my first league match win ever, and I won that match, I believe, 4-0? Yeah, 3-0, 4-0, something along those lines. So Chase was just ready for some revenge. And then I was like, oh, Chase, you want to do it in a call? He's like, no, this time you get my full undivided attention, buddy. No call. You don't get to stream the match. None of that shenanigans. You get my full focus. And I'm like, okay, all right, man. I see how it is. So, that's what we ended up doing. And so the match will go up tomorrow for all of you beautiful, wonderful people. But, let's go ahead and run through Chase's team. I'd like to tell you the kills and stuff, but I think the doc is updated through my match with him, so we will not be talking about that. But Chase is currently 1-1. Had a successful week 1. Went 1-0 versus the South Florida Blues, and then got 6-0'd week 2. So week 3, Chase is probably wanting some revenge. Also just noticed that there are Meloetta icons here. So we can hide that. Cool. Which is fitting because Meloetta's on Chase's team. But let's go ahead and get into it. We're already 2 minutes in, so just keep it concise. Savali is on Chase's team. I thought he might bring Savali ground because that's what we went through with his mocks, but we're just going to run through his teams. These are the basic Smogon, whatever you guys want to call it, and yell at me in the comments below for sets for these mons, and if they didn't have the sets, I just pulled it from the next evolution up, and hopefully everything's valid and fitting. But Savali ground, or Savali in general, just literally Savali, so like literally question mark on that entire freaking Pokemon for the entirety of my match and battle versus Chase, which was fun and exciting and really kind of terrifying because you literally have a mon you can't prep for because you can bring 18 different variations of it. Meloetta, then Venomoth, Drapion, Whimsicott, Frogadier, Dugtrio, Alolan Dugtrio, Turt, Nader, Vikavolt, Staravia, and Hakamo, however you guys want to go about that. But, standard sets, so basically, question mark Pokemon in Savali, Meloetta, normal psychic, I think it's second form, didn't even know this thing had 2 forms, is just another big question mark. I don't even know how that whole thing works. So I think the other one's fighting something or another, and it's kind of terrifying. It's pirouette form or whatever. I don't know. Gen 5 is like my biggest gap in knowledge, so I didn't even know Meloetta was a Pokemon until it got drafted. We have Venomoth, normally gets set up with Quiver Dance, Sleep Powder, and then Stab Bug Buzz and a Stab Sludge Bomb, which makes it terrifying. Didn't think he was going to bring both Venomoth and Drapion because of the poison aspect of things. Drapion can be very scary too, can get set up with Swords Dance, run it Choice Banded. If not running it, if you're not bringing Swords Dance, you can bring Choice Band, so it hits a little bit harder. Locks you in though. Stab Knockoff, always a big oof. Because losing an item, dude, is just like, I hate it. I hate having to prep. Like, oh, I know you're locked into knockoff and you're just gonna hit it. Like, who's losing an item this week? And it's just terrifying, and I hate it. I hate knockoff, dude. Why? Why does this move even exist? Potentially could run Earthquake or Aqua Tail. So, like, it's kind of, the fact that it gets a water move is just confusing and scary. And normally you'd bring in, like, I don't know, Rhyperior sits well in front of this thing, except for the fact if it's running Aqua Tail. So that was kind of a concern of mine this week. Whimsicott, just a very scary Grass Fairy. And then Frogadier, pretty much Baby Greninja, and the fact that you scarf it and it gets Ice Beam, Water Fall for flinch, can U-turn out, fighting move and low kick, or potentially a Gunk Shot, Toxic, T-Spikes, whatever, however you want to run this thing. But it is very scary speed-wise in comparison to everything. So why don't we just do it like this so you guys can see the EV spreads. And, oh my god, it pulls open the whole team. Wow, it's beautiful and wonderful. Okay, so we were at Frogadier. Cool. But, yeah, the, moving into a Alolan Doug trio. Ground Steel, another mon that was potentially a big risk. It's very fragile, but it also, look at that base 35 HP. And a base 60 defense. Like, very, very fragile Pokemon. But if you can get set up, this thing could be very scary. Especially with the lack of a lot of immunities. Or lack of a lot of resistances and a lack of effective movesets against it. Turt, Fire Dragon, Shell Smash is always a big concern. Because with White Herb, it literally eliminates all of the concerns with Shell Smash, and it can pretty much just get, you know, everything doubled up, which is always slightly terrifying. But yeah, as you guys can tell, I'm a little bit wiped and kind of rushing through this because I need to get this out today. So I apologize, but we're going for the world's fastest team builder, Vikavolt, Bug Electric. Supposed to be a great mon, but then, you know, you take what was going to be the most terrifying and incredible Pokemon of Gen 7, and you literally decimate its speed. So you got to kind of counter for that speed investment. Why is this modest nature and has no investment into... We still have 136. Did I mess? I must have. There we go. I think that's how Smogon had it. I was going to say, I'm like, why the hell am I running it modest and not put anything into special attack? That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Staravia, Mini Staraptor, always a intimidate concern whenever it gets brought in, but pretty much acts as a bulky... You know what? Instead of leftovers, it's definitely better with an Eviolite. There you go. And then it can just act as a defogger, sit in front of things, U-turn out, get a stab, Brave Bird in. I suppose the leftovers would have been for the... But since we're going Impish Nature to boost its defensive capabilities, Eviolite's always going to be the better choice. And then Hakamo, another Eviolite. Dude, this Tier 3 and below league, Eviolite just runs Supreme. Reign Supreme? There we go. Runs a train, Reign Supreme. There we go. That's what we were looking for. And that's pretty much Chase's team. So 2 Dragons. Didn't think both of those were going to be coming. 2 Poison types. Didn't think both of those were going to be coming. Savali could be anything. 2 Bug types. So 2 normal types as well. So Chase really doesn't have a lot of coverage in terms of his mons. He has nothing that does stab rock damage. Off the top of my head is what I'm noticing. And I also don't see any ghost typing as well. So there's some gaps in Chase's team here, which is something we hope to exploit. So let me go ahead and grab my team that I brought against Chase. Shout out to Online Orphan for this build because he's pretty much the only one in my front office that helped me with Chase's matchup. Shout out to him and the beautiful work that he did. Normally, so Torrent and Empoleon, I was dead set on after what it did last week versus Mewtwo fan Nate. But because of Parting Shot on Savali, Defiant is huge. So Defiant is going to give us the raising its attack by 2 for each of its stats that are loaded by a foe. Now, granted, they have literally nothing other than knockoff that gets a boost from that. However, it doesn't lower anything across my team if he tries to Parting Shot out on Empoleon, especially if he ended up running a Savali ground. Or any sort of Savali that doesn't match up well versus Empoleon. He tries to hit the Parting Shot on the way out and realizes it was as ineffective as could be, and Empoleon just helps wall from there. So the boosted knockoff is always a great thing, and leftovers just to sit in front of things. So decided to put most of it, again, you gotta love Empoleon. So we boosted its special defense, and we boosted its HP to max, and just put a little bit to special attack so that Scald could just hit a little bit better. Roar to prevent people from, like, say, Turt from setting up on it, because we'll outspeed the Turt. I think, right off the top of my head, we're going to outspeed the Turt. We're going to outspeed the Turt off the top of my head. Let's see. Turtonator, base, 36 speed. Yeah, so we're going to, well, if he put full speed investment, but the likelihood of that wasn't big. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what we were thinking. Definitely not going to outspeed the Turt, though, if he goes that direction with it. But Empoleon still has the opportunity, if he hits Shell Smash, to roar and sit in front of it and take at least one hit from there. So, there's that. And so that's the Empoleon that we had set up for this match here. Calm, boost that special defense that much more. And any loss of attack would be gained from a Defiant Parting Shot aspect of things. And then we have Alolan Muck also coming again. Poison Touch this time around, along with Fire Punch. So the big thing that I noticed in my mocks versus Chase, and you guys will see it in my team, beating Chase's team due to my ground weaknesses and his ability to play around, Savali. This win is dependent on, especially with the setup that his team has, is very dependent on toxic damage to stop him from sitting in on me, and burn damage to reduce attack, and then force out setups with Roar. So the big thing with that is Poison Touch on Muck and Fire Punch, as well as Poison Jab. Just gives me multiple aspects to apply the toxic or burn damage to his entire team to slowly whittle it down and start walling things off with Empoleon and Muck and Gligar as well. So that's kind of where we were going. We decided to boost. We put a lot into HP. I think in my mind we put a little bit more in defense and special defense if we'd wanted Empoleon to be a full wall, but obviously with the Assault Vest you need attacking moves only. So no sense in putting an Assault Vest on this thing to sponge up the extra defense if we're not going to actually do anything aggressive with it, and make sure that when those moves do hit, that they actually have some type of clap back at them. So Gligar, we went physically defensive as well. Almost full defense boost in EVs and full HP boost. We wanted that stab Earthquake to hit a little bit harder. Roost, Rocks, and Toxic. So we can just sit, heal, sling those Toxics, get the hazards up with Stealth Rocks, and then just kind of wall off his team. Impish Nature for that added defense boost, and obviously the Eviolite. Like I said, knockoff is scary because, like, once Gligar loses Eviolite, he loses almost all of his defensive ability to just eat attacks, and that's terrifying. So as long as he keeps his Eviolite, Gligar is a great wall. Unfortunately, with it being a T3, I don't get Gliscor, which is just obviously the best of both worlds. Immunity ability, so that I can't get, that's pretty much just prevents it from being poisoned. Cool. Gaining this ability while poisoned cures it. Whatever that means. I don't know. But this thing was looking good. Then Rhyperior, we actually ended up swapping the Stone Edge Iron Head with Swords Dance, because the only thing that was really applicable to was Whimsicott, and unless I predicted the switch perfectly, which is likely, like I bring in Rhyperior, force something out, he would most likely go Whimsicott, but as soon as I give up the Iron Head, he never brings it in front of it and tries to predict the switch out at some point with some double swaps. So they were really, I'd rather have a chance to set up with Rock Polish Swords Dance for some more aggressive EQs and Stone Edge. We put the full speed because this thing is very, very slow. So full speed plus Rock Polish gets this thing up to, 184 speed after one Rock Polish. He pretty much outspeeds everything in the tier, and it can get off those stabs, EQs, and stone edges, which is beautiful. And I love it a lot. So I really, Rhyperior Bento Box here is beautiful, and I love him. Then we have Espeon here with its Expert Belt, Magic Bounce to try and avoid some hazards and get some correct swaps and stuff in there. I don't even know what Expert Belt does. Super effective against the target, do 1.2. Hey, okay, cool. That's all right. I see it. I catch it. So, HP Ground, Expert Belt is some beautiful, just beautiful tech for Pokemon like, let me see what I was thinking with this thing, because, let's see. Moves versus, so Drapion. Expert Belt versus Drapion, HP Ground hits that much harder. So stuff like that was just this like little hidden tech, like Expert Belt Ground, like something that would normally force out Espeon due to its lack of good defensive capabilities unless you invest fully in defense. HP Ground with a full special attack stat plus Expert Belt just allowed it to just wreak havoc. Substitute, just to kind of give me that extra, if something doesn't break the sub, I can just sit behind it and start knocking out Mons. And then Talonflame. Talonflame was probably the one that we were the most concerned about in terms of every move here outside of Flame Charge and U-Turn does damage back, so I lose my Gale Wings ability pretty quickly. So like my biggest concern was keeping this thing at full health and then bringing it in late game to sweep with a priority Brave Bird to finish off something. Because after that, it loses it, doesn't have the recovery, and that was kind of my biggest concern. So one Jolly Nature, added speed EVs, and maxed attack and some extra HP. But this I don't fully agree with the set that we brought, but I was happy and trusted my front office enough. I probably would have taken off the berry and gone acrobatics, or done some sort of natural gift tech like we did last week. But I think it ended up not being a huge deal. But I'll let you guys watch the match. Basically, this was my only set that I questioned, but I trusted Orphan enough to know what we were going to do. So hopefully you guys will watch the battle tomorrow and enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like below. Still getting used to these team builders, so if you guys have any suggestions or points, individual that told me I could put all 11 of Chase's teams in one team builder team, thank you so much. You're a lifesaver, and that made things a lot cleaner this time around. But thank you all so much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday, and I will see you beautiful, wonderful people tomorrow for my Battle vs. Chase. Take care, you sexy, gorgeous, wonderful gaming legends out there.